Good day, everyone. This is WillPedido once again. Today, we do another video, of course, about music. This time, we will be talking about the music of the 90s. These are my essential list of rock albums of the 1990s. Of course, I was born in 1977, so I spent my teenage years in the 1990s, beginning precisely in 1990. Then of course, there's a lot of bands that were coming from the 80s, going over to the 90s, crossing over from that genre that they call hair metal or glam rock, and then there's heavy metal is also in the scene, and then grunge comes in, early 90s up to the mid 1990s, and then alternative music, as so they call it, was also arrived in mid 1990s. So I'll do this first as a first 10. There's a lot of albums, obviously, to cover a decade. It's a daunting task. So this is my list. If you don't find your own albums or your own favorites here, of course, don't be mad at me. This is, we differ in taste, and music somehow is different when it comes to how it affects us. But my goal here is just to share, this list that I have here. Hopefully, for the ones who are around my age, this is like a blast from the past for you guys. And then for those who are younger, a lot younger, 10 years younger, 20 years younger, those who are just in their early 20s and teenage years right now, this is a way probably for you to learn or pick up some tips of what bands were very very good, and could be interesting for you also, getting to see this list that I will be sharing with you, because of the range of albums that are really really awesome for me for that decade. I'll do this as a part one. Okay, so we'll start with the 1990, the year 1990. First album that I want to share with you guys is this album by the Black Rose. um, there you go. This is Shake Your Money Maker, released in 1990. Of course, this carries a lot of hits. This is the type of music that they have. If you're not familiar with them, is really rock and roll. It's rooted from blues, and there's a lot of guitar work, which is of course done by Rich Robinson, and then the brother. I forgot his first name, but Chris Robinson. How can I forget him? This is a great introduction to this band. From the first track, Twice as Hard, and Jealous Again, Sister Lock, a very very mellow number. Could I've Been So Blind, then Seeing Things, another mellow tune. But go to Hard to Handle, which is actually a rework by them, done previously by another artist. But you get to a deep cut. She Talks to Angels, although this is a video that has carried on, and made them really popular. She Talks to Angels and Hard to Handle, that are more popular tunes from this album. There you go. Shake Your Money Maker. It's by the Black Rose, 1990. We'll follow that up with Pantera, Cowboys from Hell, also released in 1990. Very different in terms of music genre from the Black Rose. This is heavy metal. Of course, Phil Anselmo on the microphone, then Dimebag Darrell just with those shreds, shredding, and very very heavy. As a kid, if you're like 13 years old and then you hear this, and you come from like here in the Philippines, there's not a lot of heavy metal that's being played on the radio. You get to listen to this, it just blows you away. You just what was that? It was so awesome to hear. Of course, Cowboys from Hell, Primal Concrete, Sledge, Psycho Holiday, and then Cemetery Gates enjoyed a lot of airtime and airplay here in the Philippines in the local rock radio station. So that was like an introduction to the people who were not really engaged with bands like Pantera. That this is a very very heavy album. Again, that's Cowboys from Hell. Okay, so next one is another different in terms of flavor. It's still rock, but very very different flavor. U2 released in 1991. This is Octone Baby. This is their transition album from the way that they sounded back in the 80s. Of course, they were very very big with Joshua Tree, and big hits like Sunday Bloody Sunday, Bad. But this one carried them into this new decade, and they had a different sound, and everybody was shocked to hear the kind of sound that was being produced here at Zoo Station, even better than the real thing. They never sounded like this, and no other band actually was able to come up with this kind of sound. And of course there's that ballad, One. A lot of you may have very very be familiar with One. Great tune. So Cruel, The Fly, Mysterious Ways, very very catchy. Trying to Throw Your Arms Around the World. It's a deep cut, and I really really like that song as well. All the way up to Acrobat and Love Is Blindness. All these tunes here. There's some hint of the old U2 sound, but this number one and number two track, the Zoo Station, and even better than the real thing, just phenomenal in terms of how they crafted the sound of those two songs, the first two songs anyway. But there's also The Fly, which if I'm not mistaken on tape, that's like the first track on side B of the cassette tape. So check this out, Octane Baby by U2. Alright, so by the way guys, this is not being ranked. I'm not ranking this. It's impossible for me. I'm not a musical critic whatsoever. I'm just sharing this albums as I have grown to really really love them since I was a kid. So my next one is Skid Row, Slave to the Grind. This CD, I have another CD that's I've been using, of course, the tape, the old tape that I have, but I haven't even unpacked this one. See, there's still the barcode from the music store that I got this from maybe 6-7 years ago, when I just wanted to have another copy. But this is Slave to the Grind. This is of course still released in 1991. The songs that the standout songs here, the Threat, Slave to the Grind, of course, the Quicksand Jesus, man, that's Sebastian Bach, the vocalist of this band, just singing his guts out. In a Darkened Room is my favorite here actually, together with Wasted Time. Very very good vocals coming from Sebastian Bach, and of course the band's also great with Rachel Bolan. This is just an epic album for me, Slave to the Grind. I listen to this from top to bottom. I don't even have to skip any track. So actually that applies to all of these albums that I'm presenting to you guys. And then here's another album that you play, and this is like a party album. Blood Sugar Sex Magic from Red Hot Chili Peppers. This is released in 1991. Most popular tune here, you guys know it, Under the Bridge. That was even remade by another girl group in the mid-90s, a pop group. But from top to bottom, this just exposes us with with the array of songs, and even the craftiness of this four-piece band. Chad Smith, of course, very very good in terms of partnering with Flea. Actually, Flea is just like it's not even a secret weapon. It's just the ultimate weapon of this band. Nothing to take away, of course, from Jan Frusciante, and Anthony Kiedis. Is always very good in terms of his singing. and the rap that he does. Give it away, another big tune, and remember that video. It's just always on MTV. Very very cool video. Yeah, this is a 17 track album. So really your money's worth if you were a student back then, and you get either the CD or the cassette tape of this band. Great album. Okay, so we go now to we stay in 1991 actually. Two albums here by badass band in the 1990s, Guns N' Roses, Use Your Illusion 1 and Use Your Illusion 2, released simultaneously I think September 1991 when they released them. It's sort of a double album. A lot of times the double albums are like bundled together, right? But this one is not. You could buy one without having to buy the other. So not sure why they did that, but this was like if you were coming from the late 80s, knowing Appetite for Destruction, so there's a lot of anticipation of how they would sound here. There was still some hints of that the angst that they displayed in Appetite. Of course, where you have You Could Be Mine is the closest one. But they have a different perspective, I guess, in terms of musicality. They wanted to expand their horizon, and mostly Axel wanted to go explore other sounds, and My World is the farthest away from Appetite or from the rock and roll that they used to play. And then I think this just shows how good they can be, how vast their musicality is, but also the cracks are beginning to show up here, and eventually a few years after this was released, and that exhausting world tour that they had, they just had to part ways, but a lot of songs, Civil War, man, for me, Use Your Illusion 2 is better than this one, in terms of how awesome the songs are. Yesterday's, 14 Years, Civil War, Knocking on Heaven's Door, Get in the Ring, Breakdown. Listen to that, guys. Breakdown. That's a hidden gem. Pretty Tied Up, and even Locomotive. As strange as that epic video. You Could Be Mine, and then Don't Cry. There's two versions here. The first one has the Don't Cry original lyrics, and then this one has the alternative lyrics. But of course, Use Your Illusion 1, Double Talk and Jive, November Rain, The Garden, November Rain, a lot of drinking sessions wherein the drunk people here in the Philippines would try to sing that out, and of course they always fail. Yeah, we move now to no, we don't move. Actually, we stay again in 1991 with Metallica, the Black Album. This was the introduction of a lot of us, to Metallica. Coming from Ride the Lightning and Kill 'Em All, and Justice for All. They're not radio friendly. They're the band is. If you're into heavy metal, that's your thing. But if you're listening to the radio, you won't really get to catch those songs. You don't learn them. You don't hear them. But thanks to Enter Sandman and this album, of course, this introduced them to a whole new generation, to a whole new set of folks who was not into Metallica, and was deprived of it for some reason because of the limitations again of radio airplay. But this one had Sad But True, The Unforgiven. Who could forget about that? Nothing Else Matters. It's just been also the video of that's very very good. It's a mellow number, but it kind of shows you the other side of these guys, and that they could create really very melodic tunes. Also. My favorite here is, other than Sad But True, is Wherever I May Roam. Just wakes me up. If I'm bored or I feel lazy, I crank that up, and I'm ready to go. If I need to, to go somewhere, or like before I do my 5 kilometer, 10 kilometer jog, that's a great song that to start me up. You know. So that's still from 1991, Metallica, Black Album. We moved to 1992, Rage Against the Machine, self-titled. Man, oh man, oh man! I've never, when I heard this was, it's over. There nothing like it, nothing else like it. Just from bomb track, killing in the name of, take the power back, all of this, until of course the number 10 song here, Freedom. Just amazing how they come up with those noises, with Tom Morello on guitar, Brad Wilk on the drums. It's just, and Tim on bass, of course. Zach, man, oh man, Zach, the way he delivers, those lyrics, militant mind. It's just so awesome, full of energy. You know, I don't know if there's any band that's more aptly named than them. Rage Against the Machine. Their music, their characters, Rage Against the Machine. Okay, so from there, we go from not a whole lot of rage, but a whole lot of faith. Yeah, Keep the Faith by Bon Jovi, 1992. In the middle of all this, you got heavy music, you got grunge, you got those stuff from Soundgarden, Nirvana, Pearl Jam, like gonna choke the life out of this sort of bands, the hair metal bands. But he stayed. Sorry, it's I always refer to Bon Jovi as just with John Bon Jovi, but they stayed relevant because of this album in 1992. Powerful ballad, Bed of Roses, just every day, at least 4 times or 5 times I would see it on MTV, which is why it was overplayed and overplayed. But even in the bars here, people would sing it. But who can blame them? Such a great tune, great video also. My favorite here is Keep the Faith, and then Dry County from this one, Richie Sambora. Great guitar work there. And the number 11 track, Blame It on the Love, or Rock and Roll. Quite a deep track that I really like too. But do check this out, Keep the Faith. To me, this really stands out also long, on the catalog of Bon Jovi as a band. To me, it's like number 1 or number 2. If I was to rank the Bon Jovi albums. Great one, Keep the Faith. This is my last one for today. In 1995, Silverchair, Frog Stomp. Yeah. Great music here. Heavy, from Australia. These boys, at that time, were around my age or even younger. I think they were 17 or 18 when they released this album. Career single here is Tomorrow. Up to now, very, very kick-ass. Pure Massacre, Israel's Son, Undecided, Leave Me Out. Man, just an array of songs that are very catchy, very heavy. Just great to see, or great to hear. Boys of almost your age at that time, rocking it out with the big boys. Silverchair, Frog Stomp, 1995. So this kind of completes my 10 albums today. We're gonna try and wrap it up right now. Again, this is just part 1, because there's we haven't even touched on Alice in Chains, Nirvana, Pearl Jam, all that sort. Those are the more popular tunes that you always hear when you talk about the 90s, right? But there's a lot of albums that are out there that were released at that time. And hopefully, from this bunch of albums that I shared with you, you kind of relate to it. and of course, those who were not on that generation, or that the 90s decade, those who are older than I am right now, or those who are younger, get to find interest in these albums that I shared with you right now. So with that, I say goodbye to you now. I'll talk to you guys later again. We'll do another part for this essential rock albums of the 1990s. All right, peace out.